If you have a Spyder paintball gun lying around that doesn't fire, you have very few options. One, you can send it to a repair shop for $35 an hour. You can try to repair it yourself by hunting down parts on eBay. Or you can just pick up a new one from Walmart for $70. Luckily, for the most common problems with a Spyder paintball gun, you can fix it with generic parts for less than $5. For today, I'll show you how to rebuild the air system on your Spyder paintball gun in order to fix issues like burping, leaking, the bolt won't recock, and just other myriad of potential problems with your gun. What I mean by the air system is everything that goes from the air tank you have all the way to the paintball. So the ASA, the braided line, the expansion chamber, the low pressure chamber, and the valve are inside right here. Now, rebuild sounds like a very scary word, but honestly all you're going to do is disassemble your gun, clean everything up, replace the O-rings, lube them, and then put it all back together. Before we begin, it's a good idea for you to go and print out your Spyder manual. I have linked below an archive of every single manual for every single Spyder ever produced. If you don't know which Spyder gun you have, I also linked to a thread which help you identify it. Besides your broken Spyder gun, you also need O-rings. Right here is a pack of number 15 polyurethane 90 duro O-rings. These are more commonly used to replace your CO2 tank. I picked up this pack of 100 for $4 on eBay from Hustle Paintball. So, good idea to go pick it up. You can reuse them for your CO2 tanks later. You also need a clean towel. You can pick up a 4-pack of microfiber towels for $1 each at your Walmart automotive section. You also need a small bottle of lube. I have here Eclipse silicone lube, but any Dow 33 lube will work. If you don't know which one to get, take your gun, bring it to your local paintball shop, and just ask them. If you're going to replace your braided line, you also need a Loctite, blue Loctite thread locker from your Home Depot, a 30mm wrench, but I'm not going to do that today, so I can put these aside. You will need to take out your metric hex wrench set. For today, you will need a 3mm hex wrench. Alternatively, you can just use a 3mm hex bit. A screwdriver, you will need this, a Phillips head, a flathead. If you are having trouble taking out your O-rings, a pair of pliers will help. Alright, let's begin. First, you need to take out your barrel. It's a good idea, since you have barrel out, to just look through it. Make sure it's clean, and if not, clean. Next, you need to take out your bolt and your trigger. Usually I prefer to take out my trigger first. The reason for that is because your trigger has a shear here, a very sharp one that has a tendency to rip apart the O-ring inside your striker right here. That's the most common problem with Spyder paintball guns. So if you take out the trigger first, that won't happen. So I'm just going to use my hex bit here. If you are having problem taking out like this, just use your hex wrench. Make sure you don't lose any of the parts, because if you need to replace them, just throw away your gun. Alright. Oh, I forgot to mention, but make sure your bolt isn't cocked and you don't have your air tank attached already. Now you just need to remove your bolt. So hold on to this part, remove this, put it away, and then let the spring push out your bolt assembly. Now I'm not gonna do this today, but if your bolt assembly, if you haven't yet, it's a good idea to take it out, clean everything here, and lube it up. Just the O-rings and this part right here before you put everything back in. Remember how it looks like over here. Try to not let it fall apart like this. If you have problems putting it back together, consult your manual. Now make sure everything in here in your gun is clean. If not, clean it with a barrel swab. Now you're going to remove the ASA from the trigger. Put aside these screws. Again, if you lose any part, it's time to just throw away your gun, because replacement parts are going to cost as much as it. Alright, next you're going to remove the expansion chamber from the rest of the gun. This is a little tricky. What you want to do is take your gun like this, hold it, and then unscrew this out. Pushing your braided line away will help. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Alright. Remember, push this in, because there's a spring inside here that will try to pop everything out. Remove the screw, put it aside, and then slowly let everything pop out. Alright. Try to keep everything together, because you don't want to have to guess how everything put back together. Alright. Now, remove the low pressure chamber. Oh, wow, this one's really hard. Or not. It's very rare for this part to be leaking. Unscrew the expansion chamber. You're going to be replacing the O-ring from here too. Now you need to remove a valve body. This is a real tricky. Put in your flathead. And unscrew the valve body screw from here. And here's the inside here is the valve body. And you need to push it across here. Do so. Even though I haven't, to do so you need something soft like a pencil or a barrel swab. I'm gonna go for that pencil. Use the soft eraser end of the pencil and just carefully push it out. You want to make sure that it doesn't get damaged, because this is the heart of your gun. Try to remember which direction your valve body sits. You don't want to put it backwards. Alright, now here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th O-ring right here, which I couldn't access right now. Yeah, that's up there tight. Oh wow. And so we need 6 O-rings for this. Alright, first just inspect everything to make sure there's no dust or anything. It's a good idea to take your microfiber towel, clean everything inside out. Get all the gunk out. Carefully pull apart the valve spring assembly right here. Try to keep everything together because you don't want to guess how to put everything back together. Alright. Now you're going to take out all the O-rings you're going to replace. That's one. Wipe it clean. Remember, this is the air supply to your gun. So if there's dust or any dirt, gunk lying in there, your gun won't seal and you have problems like you had before. Remember which direction is your valve body. If you don't, just take your piston, put it in, and figure out which end is the one that seals. And that's the end that hopefully seals your gun. Alright, so I take out 5, clean again, There, again, there's a 6th one in here, but I can't reach it and just gotta give up. I'll replace the O-rings. Try to make sure you don't break and stretch them too much. Alright, that's 3. 4. 5. I'm not going to replace the 6th one right here, so I'm going to just put it back in. Alright, so wipe everything clean. Now you want to oil all your O-rings. If there's an O-ring, put a drop of oil and just spread it around with your pinky like this. Do the same for every O-ring you can spot. Regardless of whether you replace them or not. You do want to avoid getting the lube into where the air supply is. If the lube gets to your air supply, it gets to your paintball. If it gets to your paintball, you want to shoot well. Alright, now put everything back together. First, the valve body. Now, this is a little tricky too. First, hopefully you didn't forgot what direction your valve body is. Now try to put your valve body in, align the hose. You want to push it in without breaking anything, hopefully, and push it in until your valve lines up. To where you screw it, right there. Now, screw in the valve screw. Hopefully you put in your valve body straight. Your valve screws just sit a little into the body of the gun. If it doesn't, that means your valve body isn't put in straight. Take it out again with pencil, realign, put it back in, and try again. This is part important, so it doesn't hurt to spend a little time with it. Now, put in your spring and piston. Hopefully, they didn't come apart. If it does, notice that your spring, it's not straight. It put the bigger side into this part right here. Now, push it in. Alright. Align while you're pressing the upper part expansion chamber in. Find your screw. And screw in your hex. Screw in with your hex wrench. It should go in very easily on your hex wrench while you're putting pressure with this side. If it doesn't, that means that the threads have misaligned. Take it out again, push it back in, and try again. Right here. Now, put in rest of your expansion chamber. In the expansion chamber, right here, so you just need to put the rest of the gun back together. So take your bolt and your striker, lube up any O-rings. Just shove it in. Because we don't have a trigger, it's very easy to push in. Take the washer, just put it flush against the gun, push this whole assembly back in, push in it right here. Now we're pushing the trigger frame. Let's see. These are the screws. It should be very easy to push it in. Tighten them up. Hand tie is enough for these screws. Alright. And finally, screw your ASA back into your trigger frame. I forgot, while the video went down, I put back in the barrel. Alright, so here's your fully assembled gun. And hopefully this fixes whatever problem that's causing your gun. If it doesn't, I will have other videos up showing you how to fix an E-trigger if you have, how to clean your bolt assembly and replace the O-rings there. And hopefully one of these videos will fix whatever problem your old Spyder have. And if it does, take it out and go shoot it. These things deserve some love instead of being trash.